Commanders fans, the 2023 season is just around the corner, so let me know down there in the comments section which Commanders player has the most to prove heading into 2023. Can't wait to see your answers down there in the comments section. What's good, Commanders fans? I am your host, Jack Sperry, and this is the Commanders Report. On today's show, we're going to be going over some players that I think have a lot to prove heading into the 2023 season. I got a top 5 list for you guys, so without further ado, let's jump in with number 5, the inside linebacker, Jamin Davis. Now, Davis is going into his 3rd year, and he's expected to be the number 1 guy in this room. Last year, over 100 tackles, really came into his own in the second half of the season. During his rookie year in the early part of last year, he really looked kind of like a fish out of water, right? The inside linebacker position is a really tough one to master. You got to, especially in today's modern NFL with how much offenses are targeting the middle of the field. So you got to be a really good pass defender in zone coverage, and you got to know what you're doing against the run. You have so many rules in coverage as well. The linebacker position is so freaking tough in today's NFL, and it definitely took Jamin a little while to get that confidence up. And I think that going into this year, that confidence is high. He got the procedure done on his knee this offseason to kind of clean up some of the injuries that he's had in the past to that knee. And now he's looking like he's going to be coming in this year, and he's going to be very, very good. I have very high expectations for Jamin Davis, but the pressure is on for him because it is year 3. He hasn't had that breakout season yet. And if you don't see it this year, you're going to start to wonder, is it ever going to come? And do you go out in free agency in 2024 and get a true number 1 inside linebacker? Then we go to number 4 here, where I've got the edge rusher Montez Sweat, who was the recipient of a lot of trade rumors during the offseason. Don't think that's going to come to fruition. Really established himself as the number 1 edge rusher for the Washington Commanders last year while Chase Young sat out for most of the year, collected 8 sacks, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do this year. There's a lot of Commanders fans clamoring for Montez Sweat to get a long-term extension, and quite frankly, I pretty much agree with them. Now, the pressure is going to come whether or not he gets that extension. If he gets the big-time, long-term extension here and he becomes the 3rd member of this defensive line to get the bag, he's going to be looking to prove that he is worth that money this year. Was last year a flash in the pan, or can he really show that he's got a consistent performer here in this league? I certainly think he's going to have a good season this year, but also if he doesn't get paid, Sweat's going to be looking to prove that he deserves to get paid here as he approaches free agency in 2024. Personally, if I were the GM Martin Mayhew and I was the head coach Ron Rivera, I would be doing everything in my power to get an extension done as soon as possible to lock down Montez Sweat and kind of solidify that number 1 edge rusher spot for years to come. But you let me know what you guys think about Montez Sweat down there in the comments section. Will he get extended this year? Predict it for me down there in the comments section with an E for extend or W for let walk in free agency. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. All right, number 3 on my list of players that have some pressure on them this year, Charles Leno Jr., the left tackle, is definitely among them. Now, many Commanders fans wanted the Commanders to replace Charles this offseason. He didn't have a fantastic season last year, giving up 8 sacks from that left side. There was definitely a lot of rumors around the draft that the Commanders would draft a guy like Darnell Wright to straight up replace Charles, and that just never came to fruition. They didn't even take a single guy that's going to be playing on the outside there of the offensive line in the draft. They drafted Braden Daniels, but he's probably going to be kicking inside here in the NFL. And this year is really the year for Charles Leno Jr., who's been an unremarkable pass protector throughout his career, to prove that he deserves to be that starter moving forward, to protect Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett or whoever's going to be playing quarterback for this team. You need to solidify that left side. And Charles has been a pretty decent pass protector throughout his career, but the run blocking is absolutely atrocious. He needs to get get better in that regard. And then also he doesn't have the elite athleticism to keep up with some of the higher-end edge rushers like Micah Parsons here. And you play the Cowboys twice a year, so you really want to have both sides of the offensive line solidified, and that's definitely a question mark here heading into 2023. So go ahead and join the family right now. Subscribe to the Commanders Report for in-depth Commanders coverage just about every single day, 100% free. We're even going to have a couple of live watch parties for you guys during the 2023 season when the Commanders play on primetime. So if you want some of those watch parties this year, we need to get to 5,000 subscribers. So go ahead, be a part of that effort right now by clicking that subscribe button right now. All right, number 2 on my list is another edge rusher, Chase Young. And obviously, the pressure is on after, just playing 12 games over the last 2 seasons and only collecting 1.5 sacks. I mean, that's just not going to be good enough for a guy like Chase Young, who was drafted number 2 overall in the 2020 NFL Draft, won Defensive Rookie of the Year his rookie season, and now he's set to be a free agent in 2024 after the Commanders declined his 5th-year option. And, Washington is already investing a ton of money in their defensive line. You're already paying Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne, and then Montez Sweat is right around the corner as well. So it is worth noting that the Commanders could use the franchise tag on Chase Young to keep him in Washington moving forward, but he's still going to have to prove his worth to the team this year. I mean, last year, pretty much zero pass rushing production from him in just the couple of games that he played in. Only 1.5 sacks before he tore his ACL in 2021. He's going to have to show that he's worth keeping on this roster because they're going to be investing a ton of money in the rest of the pieces on their defensive line. So if they're going to make another big investment in a guy like Chase Young, he's going to have to show up here in 2023. So let me know what you guys think about Chase Young down there in the comments by answering today's question. Will Young still be a Commander in 2023? Predict it for me here in the comment section. Will he be a Commander, not just this season, but going into next season there, 2024? Give me a yes or no down there in the comment section when you get a sec. And finally here, number 1 on my list of players with under the most pressure for the Washington Commanders in 2023 is none other than quarterback Sam Howell. Now, last year, Howell was taken in the 5th round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Ron Rivera is a big-time believer in this kid. Said that essentially that he was worth a first-round pick. He said that multiple times, and they get him in the 5th round. So it could definitely be a steal here if Howell ends up making it. But if he ruins his chance of starting this year because he's a 5th-round pick, he might not get another chance to start in this league. First-round picks like Sam Darnold and some of these other guys, they get chance after chance after chance because they're taken so high, and their stock is just higher because of where they're drafted. But with a guy that's drafted in the 5th round, getting a chance to start this year, this is pretty much his one and only shot to prove that he is a starting capable quarterback in the National Football League. So there's arguably no quarterback in the National Football League going into this year under as much pressure as Sam Howell, especially because he's got a guy like Jacoby Brissett, a really steady veteran, right behind him. So if Sam puts together 3 or 4 bad games in a row to start the season, that could be it. His career as a starter could be officially over. So he needs to have a very good start to the season, and then he also has to continue that success as the season rolls on if he's going to prove that he is the franchise quarterback of this team. Now, he has a pretty strong arm. He's an underrated athlete as well. And obviously, the players in the Commanders locker room seem to really believe in this guy. They keep saying how much they believe in him. And, it's definitely, from an outside perspective, it's like, really, Sam Howell? But, just hearing how confident the guys inside the building are with this kid, it makes me optimistic about his future. And I think that he has a good chance to really solidify himself as the franchise quarterback here in the nation's capital moving forward. Well, that's going to be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. Make sure you click that thumbs up icon and like today's video to tell the YouTube algorithm to push this video out to other Commanders fans like yourselves. Really does help us grow here. Really do appreciate all the support. That's going to be it for me today, guys. I will see you guys later. And as always, hail to the Commanders.